Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news. People can get their federal tax refund faster with direct deposit. IRS Tax Tip 2021-12, February 3rd, 2021. As taxpayers prepare for the start of the 2021 filing season, there's a link to that here. The best way to get a refund is to combine electronic filing with direct deposits. It's fast, secure, and easy. So the IRS is, of course, pushing for people to be filing electronically, which you may be able to do with software. You may be able to get access to some of that software for free using the free file option, which you can find then on the IRS website. And then to get the refund faster, you might want to then have the direct deposit, which can typically be done by putting the banking information into the software as you make the file either yourself or with a third-party provider. If you owe taxes, then you may not be as concerned with the process being as quick if you're writing a check to the IRS or if you're paying the IRS, but you can have a direct payment as well. Or if you have a paper check in that case, it might take a little longer. You might not be as concerned as long as you avoid the penalties and interest with it. But the electronic filing can still be beneficial because you can kind of verify and feel good, feel secure that the thing has been processed a lot quicker typically and that the payment has then been received. So IRS Direct Deposit is fast. The quickest way for people to get their refund is to electronically file and use direct deposit. Visit IRS.gov for details about IRS Free File. There's a link to the free file here so that you can then go through kind of an interview process. The IRS will then point you to software that you can then use to file for free given or depending on your circumstances. So there's also free file fillable forms. I don't really recommend using the free file fillable forms unless you are, have good practice of filling out the forms if you can use the software, because the software will typically have kind of an interview type of process. The forms are closer to doing it by hand, but all the information should be out there for the forms and the instructions for them. So you have the information should be available or should be available shortly. Taxpayers who file a paper return can also use direct deposit, but it will take longer to process the return to get a refund. Is secure. So it's also secure since refunds are electronically deposited. There's no risk of having a paper check stolen or lost. This is the same electronic transfer system that deposits nearly 98% of all Social Security and Veterans Affairs benefits into millions of accounts. It's easy. It's also easy. People simply follow the instructions when selecting direct deposit as a refund method and enter their account information as directed. Taxpayers should make sure to enter the correct account and routing number when they file. Provides options. Taxpayers can split a refund, so there's a link to how to split the refund here, into several financial accounts. Those include checking, savings, health, education, and certain retirement accounts. Taxpayers can even purchase up to $5,000 in Series 1 U.S. saving bonds with their tax refund. There's a link to that option here. You use IRS Form 8888, election of refund, including savings bond purchases. There's a link to that here, to deposit a refund in up to 3 accounts. To not use this form to designate part of the refund to pay tax preparers. Once again, do not use this form to designate part of a refund to tax preparers. In other words, the tax preparer should not be the one receiving the refund. That could lead to, bad practices to be taking place. So the refund, the tax preparer can help with the tax preparation, the filing of the return, but the refund that's going from the government back to the taxpayer should not be then going to the tax preparer, even if it's basically allocated for their payment, because again, bad practice. It should be going to the taxpayer and then, paying it not directly out of your refund. So taxpayers should deposit refunds with U.S. bank accounts in their own name, their spouse's name, or both. Avoid making a deposit into accounts owned by others. Some banks require both spouses' names on the account to deposit a tax refund from a joint return. So when they put the banking information, you're going to have the banking information for the taxpayer on it, and it might be in some cases necessary to have, if filing a married filing joint return, both spouses on the account in order to get the deposit going into that account. So taxpayers should check with their bank for direct deposit rules. People who don't have a bank account can visit the FDIC website. There's a link to that here for information on where to find a bank that can open an account online and how to choose the right account. Veterans can use the Veterans Benefits Banking Program. There's a link to that here for access to financial services at participating banks. Tax return preparers may also offer electronic payment options. Some mobile apps and prepaid debit cards allow for direct deposit of tax refunds. They must have routing and account numbers associated with them that can be entered on a tax return. People should check with the mobile app provider or financial institution to confirm what numbers to use. People should have their routing and account numbers for direct deposit available when they are ready to file. The IRS can't accept this information after a return is filed. So once the return is filed, if you want to say, oh, now I want to go back and do the banking information so I can get the refund faster. No, it's too late after you already sent in the return. Now you're going to, if you didn't put the routing or the information for the banking information in it, then you're going to have to get the check at that point in time. So if you want the refund faster, make sure you do it before, you process the tax return. So there is a limit of 3 direct deposit refunds made into a single financial account or prepaid debit card. More information can be found on the links below, including Publication 17, Federal Income Tax for Individuals, and Where's My Refund? There's a link to those 2 items here. There'll be a link to this in the description.